Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get into the Chevelle's Turbo build and we're going to do cold side piping. Going to get the intercooler and the intercooler piping mocked up. See if we can't get that stuff hooked up. Join me.
Oh my God.
Intercooler day. That's where that goes. So we got our intercooler in. Let's see if we can get that in there. Is it gonna fit? Is it gonna fit? Nope. Not gonna fit. I knew that was gonna happen. End tanks are a little bit bigger than my box was, so I'm gonna have to do some clearancing in here, which I was already prepared for. Yeah. So let's get that cut and see what it looks like with what we're doing. I made some marks here where I need to cut out. Put the grill in here just to kind of mock it up. My hole's somewhat lined up. It's gonna be close. I may have to do some, I don't know, I may have to do some things, but we'll look at that when we get to it. I'm gonna get my dullest blade and I'm gonna cut that out. All right, so I'll bring you back in here. I started going ahead and making this off camera because I'm using my scrap bin. I don't know what I'm going to come up with in there, so I kind of grabbed some things to see if I can make a bracket out of it. I don't know what this was. 1-inch cast iron pipe, I think, that I was using for some air fittings on my compressor, but that was the only thing I had that was long enough and decent girth to it. And welded some nuts on that so I could capture this and, you know, make a solid mount here. Hood and latch. These are the bolts for that. Ran some washers, and I think that's like 1/4 inch thick piece of a engine mount plate that I trimmed down. This is just a piece of 1/8 inch thick something or other that was in the scrap bin. Welded these together to make a upper support bracket, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna attach these two, weld these together so that, you know, that just bolts on and the intercooler bolts to that. Mocking that up, seeing if I'm even gonna use this. I don't know if I like this or not, but I say all that to say I'm at a point where I got to make sure that when I do locate this, that my holes on either side are still going to be able to do hole things. And this little guy, it's getting close. I mean, it's good up and down, but I don't know how I'm going to make that bend. Even if I take a 90 and shoot in there, I'm probably going to lose this bracket. I can't go much further in here because I'm like right on that inner hose there. Probably can't see that. So I'm right on that. No more this away happening. I might be able to get away with coming out some more, because I do have the room when I cut this, but I'm concerned about this bracket. I don't know what I'm going to do. This locates the upper header panel. It bolts in over here, has one bolt on the bottom of that, and more importantly, this is where my grill mounts to, so I need these positions to be fixed in there. Again, I can build things to strengthen this part of it, you know, build that back, but I can't cut too much more past this rib here to get clearance unless I redo the whole bracket, and I'd rather not make a whole nother bracket for that. So yeah, I'm gonna sit here and stare at this and see what I come up with. Okay, so I did some work off camera. I didn't like how this side was where it's at, and this side I kept wanting to go further in this way just to try to get around this bracket here because there's not a lot of meat left in this area. Trying to prevent redoing the brackets, but I don't think there's any other way to do it besides I'm gonna have to redo the grill brackets. So we'll cross that bridge. That'll be a problem for later me. Basically, I got my concoction of stuff I had in the parts bin to make me a mount. This is solid-ish. I'd still like to capture the bottom so it's a little more secure. I mean, it does wobble. Well, my whole body's wobbling. Like, anyways, it does move around a little bit, but I'm going to get down there and capture those two tabs on the bottom and make something that secures that. But for now, I can move forward. I'm just going to take these brackets out of my way so I'm not worried about them and keep forward with the building. I've got to get cold side pipes through this side now, and then I'm going to have to figure out a way to snake it around this way. This is going to come up here. I got a little 90 that I ordered that's 4-inch to 3-inch, which is what this is. So it'll do a little 90 that way. Should be able to stick me a straight pipe here, use a coupler, put a 90 in there, and rig something up in there. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I really wish I had a TIG welder. I don't have one. So this is going to be some couplers for now until I get to that TIG welding and making my own things. But anyways, let's get this hole cut and keep moving forward. All right, well, I got this side cut. I can just barely sneak a 90 in here. It's tight. I'm gonna have to clearance it. But what I wanted to see was what my angle needs to be. I can get that thing to go on there with one hand. There we go. I'd rather not use a silicone 90 because they're not that great. These little eBay jobs, but I'm thinking I can open this up a little bit, and there's not too much back here but wires. I'm hoping that the angle of this, the diameter of the bend, is somewhat close on these U bends, and it's nowhere near it. Well, so I was afraid of. I'm probably gonna end up cutting this in half, and that's gonna put me, I don't know, there-ish. I still gotta be able to get this in the bead roller and get a bead on it, and then whatever I gotta do to clearance that. Yep, that's just what's gonna have to be. It'd be really cool if I had some little 90s, but work with what you got in life. That's what I told her. So I'm gonna cut this and see how bad it is and how much I gotta trim off of that. All right, we got this guy cut. It's not as good of a radius as I want, but it's gonna have to work for now. Good enough for government work. This is gonna be pretty good. It'll get me close enough to shoot me out over here. I'm gonna try to get this in the bead roller, get a bead on it, make sure I can get a straight coupler on there, and keep moving to the next one. All right, so this side will leave us off with the other half of that 90. Had to, six out this way a little bit instead of going straight. Still got to play with that V-band a little bit, or the T-bolt, and kind of work it in that way. I got decent clearance around this one. Still got to put some weather stripping and stuff around these and fill these holes and gaps and things, but I got enough clearance around here that that's not going to go anywhere. That puts me with a 90 there, and then that straight shot will come up. I just put this on for visual reference. I do have a 90 coming, and that'll join these two together. And that will take up most of that cold side on over here. I do got to get the flange welded on for the blow-off valve. So that's going to be a thing. Somewhere, probably in this little opening right there is where that's going to go. And probably going to have to put the IAT bung in there too. I don't remember where I put that on this. I think it was in the intake. Anyways. So the next thing we got to do is try to capture that bottom side of that intercooler and mount it probably to, I'm gonna use these bumper holes here. So we need to make a, I don't know, flat stock going across the bottom of the intercooler. Then I'll make some that come out that way. These look to be 19 3/16 on center for the holes, and I'll make it 20 inches across for the flat stock. All right, got a pretty simple bracket here, a little flat stock going across these two bolts. I'm gonna get this thing set in there and see what we need to do to attach it. All right, so we got this flat stock in here, and I'm locating off the bolts down here at the bottom. And this is pretty, I mean, I gotta tighten the bolts up, but pretty damn solid for what it needs to be. Probably a little bit of overkill, but we have located this fairly well. It ain't gonna go nowhere. I was more worried about it wobbling around and doing things to the pipes. But barely see down in there. Having this bracket come right up here and go straight up and then over. I welded it to the bottom down there, but that gives me enough room to get that power steering cooler in there. Again, that power steering cooler is probably gonna end up moving. I'm sure at some point I'm gonna have to run a splitter or an air dam or something on the front of this so I can drop that power steering cooler down. This will get me going for now though. Got that located. I'm going to take all this back apart and paint it black just because I don't like seeing shiny stuff. And I think that's about it for intercooler piping. I've got the hot side stuff on order. Should be here in the next couple of days, and then I can make a video on that, show you how I'm going to do that for cheap. But all in all, I'm $100 into the intercooler, $100 into the piping. Came with all the clamps and the V-bands and all the things. I happen to have a bead roller, so that worked great for rolling that bead on the end of the pipe. Forgot about that. That was from the blue C10 a while back. So anyway, thanks for following along. If you guys got any questions, let me know. I'll be doing my research between now and the next video, trying to get all the different systems set up. I still got to research fuel system. I got to do the PCV system, which I am keeping. I'm not just putting breathers on things. So if you guys got ideas on that, let me know. And I'll just try to figure out how to do this turbo system on the cheap. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.
Action. On fire. I just wake up and piss excellence, and I want to go fast.
You're not first, you're last.
I was high when I said that. Did real good. Car ran real good.